homeless guy was trying to put a spell on me, but I think he was just waving.
The following film is intended for mature audiences and contains adult content, graphic language, graphic violence, nudity, and strong sexual content. Viewer discretion is advised. We'll leave it up to you, but you gotta know about this stuff before getting into this whole thing, you know? I mean, straight up, one guy gets his face bitten off by a raccoon, and we show it. Oh man, do we show it.
Hey guys, it's Cool from the Cool-Kegs podcast, and tonight we have another special guest on a whim, Mr. Volkov.
Breezy! So happy to be here with you, my brother. Finally got to come to the famous podcast with you on the Cool-Kegs.
Well, Cool-Kegs is actually unavailable tonight, so you're stuck with just me. But let me ask you something. What's your number one priority?
Number one priority is safety. But listen, before we begin, Breezy, listen, do you think I could play a little song, just it's my song I play when I play this game, and it gets me in the mood and shit, you know?
Let's do it, you know, free speech.
Okay. Alright, here we go. Wait, hold on.
Okay, I'm holding.
Hey Google, play In Sync, I Want You Back.
All right, I Want You Back by NSYNC, playing on Spotify. You're right.
Breezy, sing it with
me. Oh, I love you, buddy. You have no idea how much I love you. How you doing, bud?
I'm good, Breezy.
No, in all seriousness, so, who are you? All right, I'm gonna ask you the same way we do it in every fucking, podcast. But who are you inside the game? And
okay.
We'll deal with that. Yeah, and who do you fly for?
Let's get that out of the way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My call sign is Volkov, which is literally my last name. Shocker. And then I switched it to something else, and that's classified.
Those that need to know.
Yeah. So my full time, I work in healthcare. I work with kids who have developmental and physical disabilities. What else do I do? I'm an artist.
You are an artist. Yes, you are.
I am an artist. I love painting. I love coloring shit.
I'm gonna share some of your artwork, by the way.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. That'd be great.
Dude, you're a great artist. You really are.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I kind of fell into it, just growing up in New York. It's like all the cool kids did it, so I was just fucking writing on everything. But overall, I feel like I had a good enriched childhood. I could say that,
Well, hold on one sec. So, I guess let's do this. Who do you fly for?
Oh, I fly for IA.
Okay, cool.
I fly for IA. I've been flying with IA since I started. And the funny story with that is, I joined the game when the war broke out with Russia and Ukraine, and I literally joined it just to troll people. With my weird, stupid name, I was just making jokes, and I just had the entire chat going nuts. I got reported, they banned me, and the funny thing is, the first person that kind of was vibing out with was Moist, believe it or not. Big shout out to Moist. He thinks that I hate him, but I don't. That's my dog. And I just started playing the game. Didn't really care too much for it. But then I realized every time I go on, the same dude would be on, and I would just continue conversating, And I don't know, it grew into something I did not expect, honestly. And then this dude Vulcan, shout out to Vulcan IA, he's a great commander. He told me to join IA, and then since then, I kind of been, there, yeah.
Well, how many commanders are there, left in IA?
There's about, we got new promotions now, but I feel like there's only a few main commanders.
Vulcan being one of them, obviously.
Vulcan was one of them, yeah. It's Gator, Vulcan, and Chevy.
Okay.
Mighty Mall also, Hobby, Whiskey, those dudes. But I think Chevy's kind of, he's the main dude who's kind of, keeping it all together.
Well, I have nothing but love for IA, believe it or not. So, yeah. All I can say.
Listen, we've had, it's been interesting year for sure. With all the beefs and the, back and forth. I'm guilty of it. But yeah, we could get into it, man.
Well, no, it's as simple as I'm sure people have noticed, but there's personal shit between myself and a couple people, and that's as far as I'll go. But it doesn't mean that I hate them or IA. It's one of those things where it's I have zero problem with helping anybody until they don't want to help themselves, and that doesn't mean I'm requesting anybody to do anything or trying to fucking, I don't know, strong arm them. The last thing, it's just, there's a decency. If I show up in your server, and I've been in your server, don't talk shit to me, that's all. And, there seems to be a conflict there with, the abstract view and, overall view, I should say. And whatever, we're nothing. Let me put it that way.
Breezy, I think you should come back to the server. I think that,
Did you see why I left, though?
I did. I saw.
Both days, though.
No, I missed some of the combo.
Yeah, you missed. Yeah, most people did. They missed the first day because I didn't make a big deal out of it. I'm just saying, look, I wouldn't tell people in the DMs anything that wasn't true. And, if anybody is interested, I would be fine with releasing mine if they want to release theirs. So, that's where I'm at with that. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not here to attack anybody.
Yeah, but I think it's really important, especially in this, atmosphere with the DMs. It's important to keep the DMs private.
Well, until there's a disagreement, right?
Exactly, but the thing is, it's fucked up because people tend to do things behind the back, behind the scenes, and
I don't.
share a screenshot of conversation.
But I don't. And this, and I told you at the pre-interview, I was talking to a couple different nations actually right now involved in kind of the war over in the Middle East, and it doesn't happen with them.
No, I'm just saying in general, it's important to keep things private. A lot of people share things, and I've seen things.
I think secrets are bad, personally, when it comes to transparency. And look, I'm not trying to start a fight or nothing. I'm just saying, it's simple.
No, Bruce, let's fucking fight, bro.
All right, bro. All right, you beat my ass, but it's fine because I have this forever and ever. My airwaves are forever. But no, I'm just kidding. That was such a joke, bro. It was such a joke. But yeah, you get it. But no, all right. Beyond that shit, who cares about that? That's some petty shit. You fly for IA. You're a VC still.
I am VC still, yeah.
Good, and you guys are still number one. In Sky Warriors, the video game. Shout out to Sky Warriors.
Yeah.
Email me more.
Big shout out to Sky Warriors.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wildlife. Email me more. What I will say is this. Who are you outside of the game?
Um, as a person, I don't know. Like I work in, I've been in school for a long time. I finally graduated, started working recently. It's been a really hard journey for me.
Well, what did you would go to school for?
It's called occupational therapy.
Yeah.
So it's you work with the allied health. It's called. So you work with nurses, physical therapists, doctors, and there's different settings. You could work in jail. You could work in the army. You could work in the school. Whatever you need those services. But besides that, just getting there was really rough for me because I got caught up doing stupid shit when I was younger. It's hard not to get influenced by your environment.
Well,
I can say that for sure.
Well, where did so did you immigrate? Like,
yes. So I am an American. Just to put it out there. I know people he's like some Russian dude flying the Russian flag, but I am an American and I fly the Russian flag. For my own political beliefs. But overall, I grew up in New York and been stuck here ever since. I immigrated to this country in '96, and I was born in the country called Uzbekistan. So it's Middle East. And is it Middle East? It's Central Asia.
Central Asia. Yep.
So, the ex-Soviet republics. And, I had a really crazy childhood there because, I was surrounded by, like, Uzbeki kids. There wasn't too many, like, Russian kids. And just, but overall, like, I am a Russian person. Like, if you want to call me that, you should call me a fucking dirty Russian.
Who would do that? I wouldn't.
I mean, now, listen, when I grew up, this neighborhood was rough, breezy. So, like, it was a predominantly, like, an Italian neighborhood, right? Bensonhurst. And, so if you know anything about, like, the mob, the Italian mafia, were in this neighborhood. So it was, like, the Genovese family, all these families. And, the kids were also kind of mean. And, like, their grandparents were really proud to be Italian. So, like, if they see that Russian kid in their school, like, they weren't nice. They were calling me all kinds of names, like. And to me, I was like, damn, like, why do they hate me so much? Like, I couldn't understand it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just trying to make friends here. And, like, 4th grade was rough, for me. Like, I was fighting a lot. But besides that, like, I understood, like, what America was. It's just Americans in general, like, hyper focused on identity and, like, who's who. But that's the multiculturalism of this country. That's fine, But, like, I didn't understand it when I was a kid. Like, to me, it was just so, like, weird. But overall, I feel like, look, I'm proud. I'm a proud New Yorker. I'm a proud American. Like, I'm happy that I was able to kind of overcome, obstacles in my life and, still be here chatting with you tonight,
Well, yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing. So, did you just say that, like, you kind of knew the Genovese family?
Yeah, I actually hang out with, like, my friend, right? So, my friend, he's the grandson of Carmine Persico.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
Carmine Persico was the head of the Colombo family, and that's his grandfather. Yeah. And it's a crazy story. Like, he said he only knew his grandfather from the jail cell, like, which is, like, nuts within itself, But yeah, like, these are my friends. I grew up with them. They're still around here. All the families, like, it's not, like, mobbed out, but the remnants are still here. They still,
It seems like you have kind of a split personality, just like from what I know of you. You're like, so like you have.
I'm very multi-dimensional. You could say that.
Good. That's the only people like I like the people I love to have on that I'll rush, including your interview, are the youngins. The people that are fascinating to me.
Yeah.
For example, like, so you mentioned something about the family and their Nazi heritage. You want to go a little bit deeper into that?
Wait. What Nazi heritage?
Well, they kind of subscribe to the idea, right? Same ideals, you said, or am I mistaken?
It's a certain mindset. It's a mindset like, oh, it's not racism. Is it racism?
I mean,
It's
it really bordered. Yeah, I mean,
it's
it is.
I'm not. They're white, so they're not racist. They're discriminating because, yeah, I think it's just like
Or culture. It's not just color.
Yeah, it's
culture.
It's the culture. It's the New York culture. It's like, because these kids, they're like in third grade, and they were telling me shit like, obviously they heard it from their parents, like, and this is the things they talk about at home. It, nothing wrong with it. It's just, it kind of showed me, like, I understood, like, wow, like, these people are really different from what I know.
So when you grew up, right? So when did you leave Russia?
96.
96. So you mentioned that just a second ago, but the thing is like, how old were you then?
I was about 7, 8 years old.
And you remember what's your memories of Russia?
Oh, I mean, it was great. I mean, like, like, you never have this here. Like, I grew up climbing different, like, garages and, like, backyards and, like, going to people's gardens and stealing their peaches and apples. It was fun. It's a different, kids actually played. And I don't know, like, for me, it was a good experience because I got to see, like, the difference, right? Like, the living there, coming here. I guess that's a unique thing that happened to me, but it wasn't that great. Like, it's it's not like an industrialized country. I mean, now it is, but
Well, the thing is like,
Moscow.
Like, you fly the Russian flag, for example, and I know you catch flack everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Including your own squad. But the thing is like, do you want to explain a little bit about why you at least seem pro-Russian and why? I'll give you the stage. It's cool.
Well, for you to check this out. My grandfather ran away when the Nazis went into Ukraine, right? They started in the western Ukraine, right? And they were moving through Ukraine, and they reached this area called White Church, Bielaya Tserkiv, that's what it's called. It's a region in Ukraine where it was predominantly Jewish people living there. And, when they rode through, they grabbed everyone up, including my grandfather and his family, and they killed his entire family. This is the story. They round him up, and they were marching, and then his mom, out of nowhere, just kind of told him to, listen, Alex, when I tell you to run, you're going to run in the woods, and you don't return, don't turn back, just keep going. And that's what he did. He got away. He was the only person, could you imagine, out of, like, he had a huge family. He had, like, 3 brothers, 5 sisters, huge family. He was the only one who survived. He ran into Asia, to Uzbekistan, because during the war, everyone ran to Asia to get away from everything, right? He met my grandma, whose brother, she has 2 brothers who served, in the army. They were fighting the Nazis. My father served in the military. My mom taught English to the tank operator dudes. I am deeply involved in everything that is Russian. Like, I'm proud of my history. I'm proud who I am. I'm proud. Listen, I know my history very well. Like, I understand what is Soviet Union more than most people, And it's like when people tell me this, oh, Soviet Union did this, Soviet Union did that, Stalin did this. You just throwing things in the air, like, it's so much more complicated. And it pisses me off, like, people paint this picture of Russia like this boogeyman that like is about to nuke the world. I'm like, dude, Russia was a massive superpower, and what's the statistic during the war? What the casualties? 26 million Russian soldiers died. Most of the damage was done by the Red Army, the Nazis. It was the Russians who stormed Berlin. It wasn't the United States. It wasn't the French. It was the Red Army. And I know this is like a typical, thing that, Putin always talks about. But, I'm proud of where I am. And, like, I respect everyone else, But now it's getting really weird. They hate Russians. They are banning them everywhere. They're not letting them move through Europe. They are, it's fucking crazy. To me, it's just same thing what happened during World War II. But now I guess the roles are switched. We need to discriminate. We need to segregate. We need to judge. We need to, put you in a box. I mean, listen.
Well, it sounds like to me, like here's what fucks me up. It sounds like to me that the same power system that seems to take control, whether it's one nation or another, subscribes to the same fucking kind of pattern. To the victor goes the spoils, right? So, let me ask you this. So, why do you think Russia is correct with the military? Do you think Russia should be doing what they're doing right now?
Listen, Breezy. They were telling them for 8 years, Ukraine is the red line. Putin made the whole thing. He tried to, I guess, to what I know, from what I saw, since the coup from 2014 up until now, a lot of things happened between that time. He was warning the West. Ukraine is the red line, guys. He made the Minsk Accords. You know what those are? Minsk Accords were things that to get, those two separate areas that wanted to secede from Ukraine when they had the coup, they wanted to be part of Russia. That's that region that wanted to be free, right? Everybody talks about freedom in Ukraine, right? Well, those two areas wanted to be part of Russia. They wanted to be free from the Nazi Ukrainian, I don't know what the fuck it is, government? I don't know. And yeah, I'm going to say it, because if you want to go back into history, there's a lot of things that they did with Hitler where, they're proud of this history. The whole thing that happened with Ukraine and Canada, like, this is like a known fact. They are not hiding it anymore. And listen, I love my Ukrainian brothers. I love all of my people because you know what? We're the same nation, really. And this whole thing that they hate Russians and like, it was all one thing. Listen, I'm going off tangent, but
no, you're not. You're not.
Listen,
here's the thing. I just spent 2 hours talking to somebody that was, let's say, understood the viewpoint of Hamas, right? And what's going on there. So the thing is,
but listen, those are terrorists, right?
Well, here's the thing. I asked him. I said, wouldn't it make more logical sense for you guys to, try to get some type of refugee status or something and then go back to your homeland? The deal is, it has something to do with land, and it has something to do with the ideology, right? So you're in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
And you still feel the way that you do. However, you've moved on. You understand that, like, I think you understand that home is where the heart is,
For sure.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a bad thing, but it often makes me wonder if my convictions are questionable.
Yeah. Dude, listen, I was...
That's from the heart, yeah.
Yeah, I believed in this country for a long time, man. Like, I had deep conviction, things would get better. Not anymore. not anymore.
As far as what, the U.S.?
Yeah, just like what they're doing with the war. They're fucking with Russia. They're, look.
But here's the funny part. Like the funny part is, for me, and seriously, I think a lot of people can't understand this. For me, I can, but how do you feel about like Trump versus say Biden?
Trump was the man. Trump was the man. I voted for Trump twice.
And I think that would blow a lot of people's minds.
I voted for Trump twice because even back then he was, a bigot, a racist, blah, blah, blah. I just saw in him something out of the ordinary. I felt like, what, this is refreshing. I know it's hilarious. The dude is fucking funny as shit, man. I love Trump. But what happened after, COVID, whatever.
See, I've always said this, bro, and don't take offense to this. I hope, you're Americanized enough to understand what I'm trying to say. But Russians are the real-life representatives of Klingons. They understand power, and they understand the idea of...
Yeah, but with U.S., there's nuance. There, you have to rule with the iron fist. If not, nothing is happening. That's just how it goes. That's the culture,
Klingons.
Here,
yeah, Klingons.
Yeah. Here, I'm sure, listen, I don't want my money going to supporting Ukraine in the war, That's my tax money. Your tax money, our tax money, right? But they do these things regardless. They don't ask the people what they want. People support it. People don't support it. They're still sending money. Not anymore. I don't know what's happening now because, Israel. But,
let me ask you about that. Hold on. First of all, you brought it up.
Oh, shit. We're getting deep today, man.
Well, you told me, and if you want to cut this out, let me know. But
no, we're go ahead.
I'm just curious. I'm curious what your viewpoint is with what's going on over there right now with Israel.
Listen, my viewpoint is probably I could say unorthodox. It's very twisted. I don't support Israel. I feel like they are the oppressor, just like everyone thinks Russian.
But why?
Why? Because, look, this land, right, from what I know, used to be owned by the Ottoman Empire, right? The British took it from the Ottomans during the war. Now, they made a deal, right? So Soviet Union, back in the day, right, they were talking to Soviet Union on what's going to happen with Palestine. And the original idea was that Palestine would have its own separate state with Jerusalem, with Israel. That never happened. And funny enough, it was the Soviet Union who supported Palestine to establish their first state, right? Besides that, what happened now? What's happening with these people? Look, I understand the whole idea, it's their birthright, they come from there, Jerusalem, the Romans. I get it, man. But what they're doing to these people it's messed up. And to see all these politicians just lining up, in unison. Oh, Israel has the right to defend itself. Israel has the right to defend itself. Yeah, by what? Leveling everything and completely just killing everyone and sending them off to Egypt? What's going to happen to those kids who survive? You can't kill everyone, right?
You just re-radicalize it, yeah. So
they're gonna grow up and they're gonna continue doing what they're doing now.
Yeah.
This is they are so desperate. These people, they would do anything for their life. They're not even getting water now.
I know.
Listen, even Putin is sending gas and electricity to Ukraine. Evil bad Putin, right? That everyone fucking hates. He's not bombing Kiev. It's all strategic. He's bombing infrastructure for sure, but it's all strategic. He's not trying to kill the people, even though people still get bombed. It's war, no doubt about that. But it's different. Israel is indiscriminately just leveling everything.
I don't want to fucking yank the U.S.'s chain too much, but we have the capability to do that, and there must be some reason why we haven't just pulled the trigger if we wanted to be true oppressors. So, what do you think the U.S. interest is in this?
to dance around issues. They will support Israel and send them weapons, but they will also take in, the refugees from Palestine because it's humane, right? More people coming here. Why not, right?
Well, yeah, Egypt's closed the border. So
yeah,
what
Egypt
border?
closed the border, man.
But what borders would the refugees come? I mean, just I wonder why. I think we show more restraint than we're given credit for, and because I hope. Let me put it that way. I think and I hope that we show more restraint than we're given credit for. Should we be putting money into our military-industrial complex versus schools and education especially? Honestly, I don't know. But I know we're on the precipice right now. Well, we're on the precipice right now of being completely brainwashed. People like me saying what I'm saying right now and being as agreeable as I am right now, you'd be surprised the backlash.
Listen, we spend more money than every single country combined on the military.
Every single one of them combined. And so how would you think, how would anybody think that any nation could stand up to the might of the U.S. military? That's what I'm saying, logically.
Well, listen, during the Cold War, there's this thing called MAD, which stands for Mutually Assured Destruction, right?
It doesn't matter who could win or not.
No.
My question is the same thing I posed to.
That's a good scenario.
Yeah, it's mutual destruction in general. But the thing is if I was willing to bet, I would bet the person that's on top, and they're on top for a reason, and spending how many more than each nation combined? Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's a good though. You spend a lot of money on everything. You spend a lot of money on jets. We spend a lot of money on all kinds of stupid shit. It's all a money grab, really. But Russians, it's more different. It's more practical. It's cheaper, but it's effective. It's not state of the art some. But listen, the T-90 right now is ripping through those Leopards. I can tell you that much. It's ripping through those Abrams.
No.
Listen,
That's
dude,
that, dude. I can tell you.
I've
Okay.
seen videos left and right, man.
Okay, dude, you need to do that because that's a good thing. That's why the podcast exists. Seriously, send me some stuff, teach me some shit, but no.
Listen, I'm in the crazy Telegram channel.
So am I. Yeah.
Russian soldiers sending all kinds of shit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I see some videos, but a lot of them are the same videos over and over. Let me tell you this. There's a reason why there's certain cities that the Patriot system has, not been able to hit Kinzels. Somehow seem to be hitting Kinzels or shit claim to be. I'm just saying, dude. Here's the thing. I don't agree with the politics of my nation. I love my nation, though, and the majority of them. I don't love my leaders. Yeah. I'm not saying what they're doing is right either, but then again, I live a life that's much more privileged that I can understand the viewpoint of others. And that's kind of why you're awesome, because you understand what I'm saying. I can only tell you what I understand. And
yeah. I mean, listen, we're here just talking about this while there's dudes right now way younger than us that are dying for no reason.
Exactly.
Do you know? And it's painful to me because I consider myself an American. I'm proud to be an American, right? But then those are my people dying right there. And yeah, you could blame Putin, you could blame Ukraine, but I really blame this country. If the United States did not get involved, everything would have been okay. Ukraine could complain, they don't have their independence, blah, 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 freedom. They had their independence since 91. What did they do with it? Russians didn't go back and take them over since they became independent. Russia let everyone be. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, everybody's doing their thing. They're all separate governments.
Well, let's be clear. The U.S., for all its flaws...
but NATO, the whole thing was NATO. You had an agreement that, if we let go all those states, they'll be independent states, but you would not approach NATO closer to our borders. That was the original plan. That's what they agreed upon, from what I know.
Well, even World War II, right? So I'll agree with this, right? I think the U.S. was the first ones to fucking kind of, go outside of what was designated as, what would be the word? Salvageable stuff from war. So scientists, people mainly, and then we concentrated on artifacts and aircraft and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I would agree. I would agree. However, when I say that though, there were different ideologies becoming apparent during the war. And then by the time it was wrapping up, we could tell that the Cold War was coming. Hence, that's why it happened, both sides. I just think that most people, not our governments, so that's the fucked up part. Those are our governments, and that's the history we both get to read. American, Russian, I'm sure, I don't know. But it's not the general people, the public.
No. We are all servants to our nations.
Yeah.
In one way or another.
Well, and most of us want just a happy life. Leave us alone, our family.
But that's not how the world works. The world works on conquest and dominance and power.
Absolutely.
It's always been this way.
Yep.
And what's happening now, this war with Ukraine is not a war between Ukraine and Russia. It's a war between multipolar world and a polar world. So, meaning that United States is losing that ground as, because things are changing, the economies are changing, and don't forget, Russia and China own most of the resources that, they don't, like Russia, they isolated Russia, they threw them in sanctions. But the thing is, it doesn't really affect them because they have so much shit there that they could just be independent on their own. Sure, they won't be making that money. Sure, that they can't make, they can't buy Benzes and, they can't steal those, fly those, the planes or the yachts. The thing is, it's a massive country with huge resources. So is China. And just that alone really messes with the world, geopolitically.
Yeah, stability-wise, it does. I think that's why.
Yeah.
I think, let me give you an example. So, if all the labor from China and Russia were to cease today, do you think U.S. would? Or do you think they'd find a way to adapt?
I mean,
the raping of resources. Middle East is a good example. I don't agree with it. However, I don't think China poses the threat that most people see it as. I think that's the fear-mongering part. And I know for a fact that Russia really isn't a threat more than ideologically. So, it really makes me think. So, back to the Nazis. What I'm saying right now doesn't mean I don't support the U.S. and what they do. Smarter people than I am.
We had Nazi scientists in NASA making rockets. I mean,
well,
a lot of the Nazis, a lot of old Nazi guard that was around Hitler took high positions in NATO.
I'm so well aware. Yeah, I'm well aware. Here's the thing: there are good things in each person, though. Not any person is pure evil.
It's all political. Listen, it's all political, dude. I'm not taking that away from anyone. It's all political. But I'm just saying,
you don't think Russia would have taken that advantage of those scientists? That's what bugs me.
They would.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no difference between that and the U.S.
I agree, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and you're a Russian American, you know this. And you're a fucking level-headed dude. You're a logic dude. That's what I'm trying to say, is for the people, the civilians in the middle of all these conflicts.
It's just crazy. Look, for us, it's just such a tragedy for Russian people.
It's a tragedy for all people, dude. Even the Ukrainians. Because you can't believe that those people that are fleeing. Sorry, go ahead, buddy.
I mean, for war-wise, every single person in that nation knew somebody that died in the war, one way or another. Every single person, their grandfather, father, somebody down the line in each family in Russia died in that war. It's used as a propaganda by Putin for sure. I'm not taking that away. He's using it to rile people up, to show, being proud and nationalism, all that good stuff. But, the story I told you about, my family, because of Hitler, I'm alive right now. Isn't that weird? If Hitler never invaded Ukraine, I would not be alive right now. So all those things that just kind of happen, a chain of events that lead to, it's crazy to me, but overall, I feel like we all need to be proud of our history, one way or another, you know. And like the whole thing with tearing down monuments, you know, especially like in this country, I don't agree with that at all. We need to remember history. We need to not glamorize it, not glorify it, but at least recognize it. That's important. You know, that's really, really important. And right now they're doing a lot of like erasing. They're really getting rid of a lot of stuff that, like especially monuments, and like they're saying things in the media about like how the war happened. They threw out that article with when the Prime Minister and Trudeau, the whole thing with Canada happened.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to like whitewash it in a way. And
well, the hijacking of language in general.
Yeah, and it's not fair to people who fought in the war. It's not fair to, you know, the victors of history. Yeah. I mean,
the victors of history shouldn't fucking be changing history. That's my kind of thing. And the thing is like, that's how I'll know. That's how I'll know, like in my lifetime at least, if there is a victor that doesn't, you know, discount history. That's the victor I want to follow. And it's not that I don't follow my country or think that it's good for me. Yeah, I know it's good for me, but is it good for the rest of the world?
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Like, look, I live a pretty okay life,
yeah,
bro.
Breezy, how about you tell me about yourself a little bit? Because, like, you know, I don't really know you too well. Like, you know, like,
well, you got about 14
really
minutes. Yeah, you got about 14 minutes. Go for it.
Listen, just break it down, man. Like, so what's your deal? Like, why did you start doing this podcast? That's one. And why do you want to listen us talk? Because, you know, a lot of us, I feel like, especially in this community, I don't know.
Wonder who I am.
A bunch of nerds.
Yeah. So I think that most of us are nerds. And there's a reason why we chose aircraft versus, you know, Call of Duty and just, you know, small arms. What I will say is this. So there is a psychological factor, by the way, what I just said. You guys can figure it out on your own. Why I'm here, the community. I was here probably for, I don't know, about a month before I realized how cool this community is. And then it's only been growing on me since. I don't fly very much anymore, but I'm more invested in the community now than I've ever been. I don't know, dude. The podcast thing was an accident, sort of. I mean, I was going to do shit like this, one-on-one, regardless. And then I met Kegs, and then turned into a podcast. And then once that happened, it kind of exploded. So, you know, we found Duke, another co-host, and voice guy. And then we found Perk, who does the shit behind the scenes. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just here because I don't know who I am as a person in the world. And I think that a lot of people can hopefully understand who I am as a person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how to say that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's not all an accident. Like as far as the execution, but yeah, finding people is the accident, and I've been lucky. So.
Well, listen, you're onto something, man. So I think you should continue doing this. It's actually pretty cool that you're providing a platform, you know, and let people voice, you know, their opinions or just talk about the game. A lot of interesting people, for sure, on your podcast. But
well, here's the thing. I don't want it to get repetitive for myself either. So, like, let me give you an example. So the guy from Lebanon, I was telling you about, he has different opinions. Some similar to yours, some similar to mine. From a different region, and right near the border. And same thing with, you know, I can't reach my friend Amrico in Israel. He's a older man, right near the border. And I'm just, I'm at the point where I don't care why. Like, but at the same time, I I just wish I understood why. I mean, because I can't affect anything other than people being able to tell their story. You're a fucking Russian American, for God's sakes. I can feel your fucking pain in both every time you try to fucking make an explanation for yourself.
Yeah, and it's
fucked
you know
up.
what's really bothering me though? Like, I'm gonna just spit it out here. Like, where like there's all these like preconceived notions about Russia and being Russian, and like Ukrainians here like talk bad about Russian people, and it's so twisted and messed up to me because it's backwards, like this hatred, and like it's natural, honestly. Fine, you should hate people for whatever reason, but it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate, Breeze, because it's literally the same country. Ukrainians, Russia started, like, Ivan Rus started in Kiev. That's the original colony, and then they migrated to Moscow. Ukrainians are really pride themselves with, yeah, we're the first. Russia came from us. Yeah, but that's because it was one country. It was one nation. And then they developed their own language, and they lived, further from Russia. But we're the same people. And, same thing that's happening with, this is a typical thing in history, though, with, Chinese and Japanese during the war, Indians and Pakistanis, it's a typical thing. But it's so messed up because, like, real people are dying. And I see this, and I did not, see this coming. I did not expect this to happen, at least this year or, last year. It's really upsetting, man. That's just, my few cents to it because, my grandpa's from Ukraine. I have family in Ukraine.
You know what fucks me up? The Lebanese kid says the same thing. He said he told his family when he was there, he was like, "There's no way that's gonna happen ever," and he woke up to the bombs.
Yeah.
And that dude's Muslim. For the record. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So I mean, again, it breaks my heart for all the people who are caught in the middle, and there's no way I'll understand anybody's real perspective, let alone several. I just
that's why I am pro-Russian. I could say that. I'm not gonna hide that fact, and that's fine. People could judge me all they want. That's who I am. That's the beauty of America. You could come here. You could have your little community, right? You could have your little channels. You could have your little food, and you'll be okay. Could you do that anywhere else in the world? Can you go somewhere else and start a business and have your family come there and run the business with you, and then you could go watch TV and they speak in your language, and you get a translator, and you get health and benefits, and then you get...
Careful. You're starting to sound a Floridian right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
America.
America is a beautiful country, and, I just feel like it's so twisted now politically. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just not aware of some things. I don't know enough to make some calls, but
I'll tell you this, bro. You are more educated in what you're talking about than I am, but I'll say this. We both came to the same conclusion that I think that, again, the U.S. is so far the best of all evils, but still evil. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah. Listen. Russia wasn't the first to drop nuclear bombs, all right? That's United States is taking that to the grave. I don't know when, that's happening, but, yeah, United States dropped bombs on Japan, and then made them their own little colony for a little while, but...
You know why we did that, though? I'm just curious what you were taught. Versus what I was, because I'll tell you what I was taught.
Okay, the argument is, American states to save lives, to, I don't know, Japan surrendering regardless.
Were they? They weren't yet. We gave them
weren't?
3 days.
They were ready.
No, we
They
gave
were
them 3
ready.
days. We gave them 3 days.
Okay, so you couldn't wait. You had to drop bombs on them.
How long do you wait for a peace agreement?
Listen.
Well, I'm just saying,
The
you're in a
war-
world
the
war.
war-
No, it's not just like a proxy war. It's a world war. How long? How long would you wait for, say,
Considering the amount of damage and the innocent life that will be lost, I will wait a little bit.
But the numbers speak for themselves. I'll just say that. If we were going to continue to invade the islands, they had 3 days. On the 4th day, our ships would have arrived there.
Yeah, into this real quick, and then I'm out. Right?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Because, from what I know, right, they're really proud of their resistance to Soviet Union, right? Because they view the Soviet Union as this oppressor, this superpower who kills everyone, takes everyone over. I get that. Listen, I know what they did to Poland. I know what they did in Czechoslovakia. I know what they did in Romania. That's what happens. Part of history. I'm not denying the fact that Soviets killed probably more of their own people than the Nazis did during the war. That's one fact. Yeah, but I will say this: Ukraine, right, had certain a movement. It was Bandera and some other dude, right? That dude Bandera, he was working actively with the SS Galicia, and that's a special unit within the Ukraine army that worked against the Soviet Union. So what they did was they killed Polish people, right? They killed Polish people, and they also killed Ukrainian Jews. Something I would say, I don't know what's the number, but it's a pretty decent amount of people that they killed during that time.
I'm sure I can find a Polish person to come on and talk about it.
Yeah, and these people were their own people, and everything what Nazis did, and just that entire, just everything that happened with the Nazis, right? Is that something to be proud of? I mean, I wouldn't want to be called a Nazi, right? But they are proud of that history because it's the anti-Soviet mindset. It's the hate towards the Soviets, right? Meanwhile, half of the country spoke Russian. Meanwhile, Russia literally developed the entire nation of Ukraine from the ground up, industrialized the whole thing, gave them nuclear, stations, provided gas, made Ukraine a partner with other nations to sell gas and get paid themselves, but also obviously be friendly with Russia, your big neighbor, right? No, they want to be free. This idea of freedom, it's so obscure to me. Free from what? Free from the Russian, influence? Do they really think that they're going to be better off in Europe and part of NATO and part of EU? Nobody wants them in Europe. They're corrupt to the core. Nobody wants them in NATO either because that's a threat, right? Look at, for example, Finland, right? Finland now is part of NATO. Before this whole conflict, Finland was okay. They were part of, they had their own government. They kept neutral. They had wars with Russia, right? But they were respecting the border. They were friendly, and they still, even to this day, there's Finland gets a lot of supplies from Russia, something like that. They do business because they're right there, right next to each other. That's their neighbor, right? Finland was okay. What happened with Ukraine? Because Ukraine is tied in with Russian politics, tied in with Russian money, tied in by the tit to Russia. But, for some reason, they feel like they could just have their coup, right, and everything's all good. You could just be a threat now. This what I'm telling you, that's the mindset, right? That's the mindset of the typical Russian argument.
It's a litmus test, where you're at with Israeli versus Palestine, or even Ukraine and Russia. That kind of tells you how you see the world. And,
right. It
doesn't mean you're right or wrong at all.
No.
It's just a litmus test.
Not.
It's a 1 or a 0, and that brings me full circle back around to say, simulation theory.
Yeah.
Quantum physics, and we don't have free will.
Yeah, that stuff is really like too deep for me. I don't, you know.
Well, I'm not a nerd. I'm just I'm a guy. I'm a boy with a dream, as I'm gonna say, and a proxy, and maybe an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's supposed to make
So
you laugh.
crazy. Back to Sky Warriors. Fuck this game.
I agree. I mean, yeah.
Are we allowed to curse?
Oh, fuck yeah. It's X-rated.
Okay. Yeah, this game is not healthy.
I know.
It's not a healthy game. I don't like what's happening with the squads. I feel like it's just it's not, I don't know. Maybe like my environment in IA is different from other squads, you know, like we're a really competitive bunch, and don't get me wrong, like IA does not put a gun to my face and tell me, hey, go score 30K or 300K. It's what we want to do. We want to participate in the competition, right?
Something
But
bigger than us, yeah, sure.
oh, listen, yeah, obviously, it's all about competition, right? If it wasn't, why would you even play, really?
Loyalty, or just, again, being part of something.
Yeah, yeah.
And
But
same thing.
I just feel like where it's heading, it's not healthy in the sense that, like, you have to spend way too much time to stay on top. And, you know, for IA, I feel like it's already, like you can't take down IA. Like with their scoring, like I feel like it would take a lot of money to do it. But overall, like I feel like it's not healthy competition.
At what benefit, though? Yeah, so, and that's going to be
It's
for,
not.
and let me in on a little secret. I'm going to let you guys, IA in general, all of y'all, it's going to happen at some point. It's happened before, it'll happen again. And there's always
Yeah.
going to be another fucking subsect of people that are going to be willing to fucking put their lives on hold to do that, and they'll have to
Really?
fucking figure
I
their
don't
way
know.
out.
I mean,
Oh,
listen,
yeah.
I guess. But
Oh, yeah.
if there's a squad that would replace IA for the number one spot, that won't be a bad thing.
I don't think it is at all. No, what I'm saying
I
is,
don't either.
No,
and that's coming from me. I feel like it's a good thing. It's a healthy thing. But getting there is just really ugly on both sides.
absolutely, you're right, and that's what I'm trying to say is like but it will change. It will change over and over and over, despite the podcast, despite any of this, despite game chat, and until they start, moderating that for real. Like, it will happen over and over. This algorithm that has us in an addiction mode.
It's horrible, dude. Oh man, let's not get into that, Breezy. Like, this game has set me back so much, like financially. It's crazy.
Well, and I know stuff personally about you, and it's stupid. And that's what I'm trying to say, man. Like, seriously, I got out somehow by the grace of God, and then, technically we're making money, but we're not. We're losing a shit ton of money doing this, like, especially myself. But our time is worth whatever we decide. So, minus my time, we're still losing money. But
I mean, listen, it's I think Cash kind of put it in a good way. He said it's a hobby, right?
It's right.
But it's more than a hobby for some people.
For some people.
It's turning into some OCD, like self-fulfilling.
That could be who they are as people too, and I didn't bring that up with Cash, and I should have, but yeah, it depends on personality too, and that algorithm gets
for sure.
a good 80,
sure.
70, 80% of those types, and I could have been one of them. I mean, minus this too, because I was getting ready to quit, move on, whatever, and I couldn't leave the community, so I tried to figure out a way to stay around, and next thing you know, we have a podcast. It's bullshit, dude. Like, it's luck. That's luck. Everything else beyond that isn't. So, I mean,
Yeah.
there's real work going on. Algorithms, YouTube Shorts, for example, that's going to start to become a thing with us. But we have to pick the right, you know, times and spots for shit. And we've only been live now, not even 4 months. So
That's pretty cool, and it's picking up.
yeah, yeah, it's growing pretty crazy. And the thing is I don't know that that's what I want to do for the rest of my life, but at the same time, it's not even like that's what I'm thinking about because I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's weird, you know. People say
Me
do
too,
what you
man.
love.
I listen. I love the game. Like the game itself, it's so fun and thrilling for me, especially when I first assholes like Crash. But it's fun. It's and listen, I'm not saying assholes in the sense like, oh, they're assholes, but because these guys are so good, it's worth playing because it's all about competition, right? It makes the game fun. But at the same time, like, if you're constantly playing this game, and I've been there, it's not a healthy mindset. It's not healthy to play this game as much as we do. And I admit this. And, like, I'm putting it out there. Maybe one of the first people, I don't know who else said that in the podcast, but I'm just letting you know, like, there's a darker undertone to what's happening behind the scenes. Like, people play this game and fixate on this freaking game, and it's so expensive. But then you step back and you're like, why am I doing this? Is it really still fun? You know? But that's just me, man. Right now, I'm not flying. I'm taking a break from the game. I'm just kind of focusing on what's in front of me right now. And, the politics of this game, it's to me, it's so petty and like kind of stupid because I also get in these discords and voice my opinion and get into stupid arguments. But like if you step back, it's like what's the point? Like what are we talking about? It's a game, It's actually kind of hysterical, but
Well, the thing is, I don't think it's any. I think this is more valuable than what we see on mainstream medias. But
well, yeah.
I'm gonna give you about I don't know, a minute and a half or something. Did you want to shout out IA or anything else while you have the floor?
I want more friendship in the game. That's all I want. I feel like there's different camps, and I don't know. It's a game, but I just feel like people take it way too far, and I want it to be just a more friendlier environment, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's what I get from it,
No, I mean that's what I want, and I think that it's trying to overachieve a lot of times, until I listen back to it, and then people tell me what they think. But to be honest, man, like, so I just got a DM. Somebody got a hold of my friend Amrico in Israel, and yeah, he's older, but it just brought me to tears to know that somebody thought that it was cool enough to give me that message. So the deal is like, it just hurts my heart. Same thing like you were saying. We don't need to keep doing this. The majority of the planet, and maybe our conversations will find the right people, and maybe they won't. So
I hope so, man. I hope that I was able to kind of shed some light or some knowledge. Maybe most people probably won't agree with me, but that's just what I think, man.
Well, and the thing is, again, it's a litmus test, and who cares about most that you might hear of here?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's most. Like I said, I take more shit on both sides than people know, especially when I do these kind of things. And I don't know. Like I said, the kid from Lebanon and Amrico were on my mind just because of the thing, and then you got a hold of me today, and we did this pretty quick. So I just it just the reoccurring thing I keep hearing from all sides are we just want to live and have our own families and land and all this, and it's like, yeah, well,
yeah, everyone wants to be happy. Everyone deserves that as a human being. Like, you deserve to have land, food, water, shelter. These are basic things that you need to
to function as a human being, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just overall it's been like just insane. I don't know.
I know it's so
I don't
hard.
know.
Dude. This is
Yeah,
why the best minds on the planet can't solve it. It's because it's a paradox. Circle back around.
Yeah.
It's a paradox, and we don't have true free will. So, but dude, hang with me. But with that being said, this has been the Cool-Kegs podcast, and this has been Volkov. Volkov, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure, buddy.
For real, dude, it's a big fucking deal.
No, I was gonna say like thanks for having me on. Like you know, you allowed me to I guess share my piece. Yeah, I'm glad I did this with you, man, and I think it went really well.
Dude, I really do too. And again, Kegs, you spoke to him early in the pre-interview. He wished he could be here, but for the Cool-Kegs podcast, I've been cool. Kegs has been missing, and Mr. Volkov has been awesome. And we're out.
Peace.